Is it gonna?
No, I think we're good.
Oh, okay, yeah, it went away.
That really had come to the forefront, at the racial injustice that was at the forefront of a lot of what we were all experiencing, not just in Baltimore, but throughout the world, with George Floyd. And so a number of things was happening in the city, and in particular downtown, where you saw an increase in vacancies, some of that COVID related. We have for downtown a record high number of vacancies, and that's ground level vacancy. And so when you think about what ground level vacancy often does, you know, it creates opportunities where crime can increase, and or people just feel somewhat desolate as you walk down. You don't feel as safe in there. And so for us at Downtown Partnership, we understood that that was an opportunity to figure out how we fill some of those spaces. At the same time, in a city that is a majority minority city, we knew that to have a downtown that was not reflective of the demographics of our city was also something that we thought we could have an impact on. And so marrying those two concepts, an increase in ground level open space and a desire to want to have downtown representative of the demographics of the city, offered an opportunity to create Boost. And that is, you know, this Black owned and operated storefront tenancy, where we have an opportunity to bring Black and brown businesses into downtown, and not just bringing them, but businesses where it's a true partnership around creating a successful model and how we do it. And so I know Sam will go through the nuances that we have in the program, but this is really designed with the goal in growing you all as business owners. Many of you who know me from before know that I owned a minority business for so many years. We understand what it's like to not have access to capital. We understand what it's not like to have legacy relationships that open doors easier. And we understand what it's like to, even from a knowledge base, to not have a platform from which you're building. When you talk about merchandising, if that's for your business, or you talk about where you're getting certain marketing and or legal help, or all of those things from. And so when we curated and designed this program, it was really designed with growth in mind. It's not just about filling a space, because that's a little bit easier. It's about filling a space that makes sense. It's marrying what you do with the location, figuring out how to do all of that well. And with our first 5, which is our first 5 cohort, we learned a lot, right? This was us building a ship and sailing it at the same time, because we knew that it was something that was needed for our city, and we were going to figure it out. And we're learning and molding. But part of what we know is, because we have our North Star, which is the success of these businesses, we know that we'll use this data and continue to ebb and flow. And so when you look at the second cohort that we're building out, it's building off of the learnings from the first. And the first, they connected, and they keep us. I can't see if any of them are on here, but I know they keep us grounded in what we're doing and really building towards something that we know will work. So I know I said a little bit on there, Sam. I'm going to pass it back to you, and then we'll just chime in as needed.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shelonda. So who are we looking for through Boost? We're really looking for some unique, strong businesses. These aren't really, we're not looking for startup businesses that, you have a great idea and are looking for funding. We're looking for businesses that have been in the game for a while, have a track record, and can really come to the table with a strong business plan and set of financials to show for their strength. But more than just a strong business, we're really looking for a business that can have a broad community impact. Do they look not just at their own individual company, but at the community overall in terms of the impact they can have? Do they have original ideas? Are they providing products that don't exist anywhere else in Baltimore? And then perhaps most importantly at all, are they in line with downtown Baltimore's long-term recovery? This is this is by and large an effort to recover economically, socially from the COVID-19 pandemic, which we know decimated our retail core, our economy throughout the city, and in particular in downtown Baltimore. And so we are looking for partners, just as Downtown Partnership is going to be a partner to business. We are looking for partners for us as well to help lift up the community overall. So these are the really most important 4 points here in terms of the kind of businesses that we're looking for: strong business plan, broad community impact, original and unique ideas and products, and then a company that can support our long-term recovery. Now, this is probably the most exciting, important slide to a lot of your folks here. What do you get if you win the Downtown Boost program? So through Boost in this round, we're going to be selecting 5 Black-owned businesses to support. And when you are chosen after going through the application process, which I'll go through in a second, when you are chosen, what you will receive is first $50,000 in grants to support your build out, your operations. It's really open-ended in terms of what it can be used for, as long as it supports your business. This isn't funds that can just go right into your pocket, or you can use to go on a trip or something like that. It has to go to your business. But besides that, we are relatively flexible in terms of the ways in which you can use it. A lot of grant programs have a lot of strings, have a lot of restrictions. You can only use it on these things. We think that the person who knows how to spend money the best in your business is you. And so as long as you are providing evidence of how you show those funds and report it back to us, we are completely flexible in terms of how you use that $50,000 grant. So that's something that we think is pretty unique for the program. We offer no-cost accounting and legal support through local partners. We are partnering with the firm Gorse Mendelsohn and Associates, the accounting firm, as well as the law firm Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. Rosenberg Martin Greenberg has a DPOB program. I'm going to butcher the acronym, but it's a program that they started last year, and it's a 1-year engagement where the firm covers all of your legal needs for a year. Any kind of support that you need on a legal basis, they will cover. And so through a partnership with them, we have aligned our programs so that all of our Boost winners are also in their BBOB program. So it's just a way that through Boost, you're now getting, not only support with your lease negotiations, but also any other legal help that you could need over the next year. We provide no-cost storefront design support through an architect that we've retained, as well as build-out project management for your storefront. We're working with the firm Real Projectives, and so they have offered their project managers to guide you through the entire build-out process for your storefront. We are offering, we provide marketing and advertising planning, again, with local partners, as well as our own assets. We have, I'm sure many of you have seen the kiosks around downtown. That's just one example of the ways in which we as an organization have assets that we can use to promote your company. We're here for the long haul to support any licensing, permitting, anything that you might need in relation to relationships with city government. And then finally, you are enrolled in what we call a Boost Accelerator program. And so this is a kind of ongoing educational program to provide you with the skills and growth support that you need in order to find long-term success. So this is it's kind of a class that you meet within your cohort once every 2 weeks, and you drill down on individual lessons such as HR, such as negotiating your leases, so that when you actually go through those things over the next year, you have the underlying foundation of information and education in order to understand what's happening. So this is really the bundle of support that we provide to all of our winners. And then finally, the last kind of detail of this is the storefronts themselves. So in addition to the range of support that we provide, we also connect you to one of 5 storefronts. Now, at these storefronts, we have pre-negotiated terms for each of them. We have relationships with the landlords. They have agreed to be partners in this, to leased to our boost winners. And so we have kind of done a lot of the legwork for you in identifying these spaces and making sure that they are affordable to you. Now, if you Google some of these spaces, you might like look at them and not fully understand, what they are and what their potential is. And I want to be clear here. It is our firm goal through Boost that, you will have the resources and support that you need to go to any one of these spaces, build out the space of your dreams, have the money that you need in order to open operations and not have to take out a penny of debt. That is our firm goal. So, a lot of these spaces are in the middle of, there are part construction projects. For example, 100 West Lexington, the entire building is being redeveloped into an apartment building. So right now it's a gutted storefront. But in working with the landlord, in addition to our boost grant, you won't need to have to outlay any of your own money in order to build that out to the place of your dreams. So I just wanted to be clear about that. That when you drive around, and I'll talk about some tours that we're going to be scheduling later, you might pop in and think, this place is not the place of my dreams, but we want you to start thinking about what could be at these spaces, to start dreaming and envisioning about what could be, because really the sky's the limit in terms of what you can build out in each of these spaces. So I put a little map here, and that kind of shows geographically where these spaces are located in relation to our round one winners. So, so in this round, there's a heavy concentration on North Howard Street. So this is a part of downtown Baltimore that is growing very, very quickly. And we really wanted to highlight this corridor and this stretch to really show its potential in this round. So right here at the kind of upper end and for 17 North Howard, I just want to highlight, for example, that is in Howard Row, which is a new development. I think 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that would have been completely blighted, run down buildings. And over the past 5-6 years, they've been completely redeveloped into a fully leased apartment community as well as ground level retail. So this is the last vacant space there that we're going to be filling through Boost. So this is just to show that, the way that we have kind of laid out these spaces is really to build on the momentum that we are already seeing downtown. So this is something very important that I want to highlight. I touched on this before. All small businesses are not eligible for the Downtown Boost program. There are some restrictions. We do want it to be open. We want to work with all businesses that are interested for sure. But in terms of the kinds of businesses that we're specifically targeting through this program, we do want to be clear about what we're looking for. First, as I mentioned, the business has to be registered and operational with Maryland for at least 1 year. So in the application, we asked for a year's worth of financials. You have to have been generating income for at least 1 year, so that you can have something to show in those financials. You must have at least 2 employees, so the owners can count as that. But for the owners, the business must be their primary source of income. The owners must be at least 18 years old. The business plans to operate in an open activated storefront. So that might seem like it's worded a little strangely, but what I mean by that is, if I were just to say, only retail businesses can apply, I feel like a lot of businesses might hear that and think that they don't qualify because they're not a typical retail business. But we want to be clear that we have kind of an expansive definition of what we mean by retail. It doesn't just have to be, an apparel or merchandise store. It could be an arts venture in which you have performances and some, unique collaborative in one space. We definitely see that as retail as well. So I just want to be clear about that. If you are unsure about whether your business would be considered retail, please reach out to us. But I think a general rule of thumb is, as long as you are planning to operate and activate a storefront in which people could come in off the street and have it be a part of the community, I think we would definitely see that as retail. And just as a highlight from our last round, one of our winners was Media Rhythm Institute, which is certainly not a typical retail business. They do arts programming with youth. And so they are going to be having, one of their main center in which they were going to have performances and other events downtown. And so that was perfectly in line with our understanding of retail. All applicants must be in good standing with the state of Maryland and have no state or local violations on file. So that's with the liquor board, that's with Baltimore GCD. We should not be able to find any violations like that. So if you have any questions as to how to find out if you're in good standing or if you have any violations, please reach out to us as well, and we will help guide you through that. Now, this final point is important. So in this round, we are very excited that we are being sponsored by Guinness Brewing. So they have been a tremendous partner, and they will be a tremendous partner to all of our Boost businesses who will be able to learn from Guinness about how they set up their retail spaces, how they create customer experiences. But as part of that partnership, we have some limitations in terms of the kind of businesses we can support with their funding. And so the two biggest ones that we want to be clear about is our Boost businesses cannot sell alcohol. So you cannot anticipate seeking a liquor license in any of these spaces. And the second, your business cannot work predominantly with children. So if you're daycare or something like that, sell children's toys, unfortunately, you're not eligible for this round. We would love to work with you. We have other programs that you are eligible for that we would love to talk to you about. But for this round of Boost, those kinds of businesses are unfortunately prohibited. All right, moving right along. The application checklist, and please, as I'm going, please please throw your question into the Q&A or the chat box, and we will get them at the end of my presentation. We're just going to open it up for questions for everyone. So please throw them in there, and then I will get to them once I'm all finished with my piece. Oops. Okay, so the application checklist, just quickly going through this, I wanted to be extra clear about what we need to see from all of our applicants. Unfortunately, incomplete applications will not be considered. When we do receive applications, if we know that one or two things are missing, we will reach out to you. But if we don't get a response or we don't get everything we need, we won't be able to consider your application. So please make sure that you are getting everything that we're asking for submitted. So that includes the fully completed application form. Chantel, can you please throw into the chat the link to the application form, please, so that folks can start taking a look at it. So at the link that Chantel is about to share, you can see, you'll be able to find all of these sections where you can enter in responses to these narrative questions. So first and foremost, please start working on that and thinking through those questions. There's a certification acknowledgement document that you have to sign that is in the application as well. We need proof of status of good standing from SSTAT. So the best way to do this is there's a business entity search on that the Maryland state government provides, and you just look up your business and it will say right there if it's in good standing or not good standing. And that's all we need to see a screenshot of. We don't need the formal documentation or anything like that. We just need a quick screenshot from the Maryland state website that you are in good standing. You must submit a business plan, and you must submit a full year's worth of financials. Now, I wanted to pause on these for just 1 minute. This week, we are having two sessions that I'll be talking about in just a minute with some local partners to help all interested Boost businesses develop these financials and develop your financial and business plan. So we really want to make sure that all interested businesses have the support they need to put together the things that we're asking for. We don't want anything to be a barrier. If you are a business that is strong and is moving and grooving, we want you to be able to apply even if you don't have a formal business plan quite yet. So we are having two sessions. For the business plan, we're working with Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Research Center. They're doing a combined session. And then for the financials, we're working with Baltimore Community Lending. So both of these sessions are going to be recorded and put online, but we also really we really encourage folks to register for each one as well, because you'll have, a direct opportunity to ask questions one-on-one from the head of Baltimore Small Business Resource Center, for example. It's a really, really fantastic opportunity to get any questions that you might have in front of people who could answer them directly. So again, if there are any questions on those pieces, please reach out to us, individually or attend the webinar later this week. I also want to be clear that part of the overall grant award, part of the overall $50,000 is provided in partnership with Baltimore Gas and Electric, BGE. They have an Energizing Small Business grant, and they have agreed to align their upcoming round with our Boost program. So each of our Boost winners will receive, $20,000 as a part of their $50,000 grant. $20,000 will come from BGE. So when you apply for Boost, we want to make sure that you have also submitted all documentation for the BGE Energizing Small Business grant. So there's a space in our application to upload a screenshot to just verify that you submitted that BGE application. Again, if there's any questions or if you don't quite know what I'm talking about or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me directly so that I can walk you through it. And then finally, we offer a space to include proof of matching funds. So I want to be clear that you do not need to have any matching funds to apply for Boost. However, it will be a bonus on your application. It will be a factor that we will consider. So it is not mandatory, but it will definitely be helpful, and we encourage it if you are able to show that. Here's the timeline for this round of Boost, for this application round. So we launched applications last week. We have the information session today. Then on the 15th and 17th this week, we're going to be having our webinars with local partners. As I just mentioned, the week of the 27th, we're going to be having in-person group tours or open houses of each of the storefronts. So please keep a lookout in your email for more information on those on each of those dates and times. I'll be following up to everyone here with more information on that. So that's it's going to be 1 hour, one day each week. 1 hour each day that week. So that'll be an opportunity for you to stop by, just take a look at the space, ask a representative from the location question. It's just going to be very simple open house of each space. I mean, some of these spaces, for example, 417 North Howard is only, I believe, 980 square feet. So it's it's a decent sized space, but it's just one room. So there's not going to be a whole bunch to be doing a tour out of. But if you want to stop in, take a look at it, see if there's any specific questions that you had, that's your opportunity to do so. And then finally, applications are due by March 31st at 5 p.m. Please get your applications in before that or by that time. No late applications will be accepted. And then we're hoping to announce and notify all winners by early May 2023. All right, and then I just want to do a quick plug for the two webinars that I mentioned. So Chantel, if you could include the registration links for each of these in the chat, that would be great. So as I mentioned, on the 15th, on Wednesday, we're having a business plan workshop with the Maryland Small Business Development Center and Baltimore Small Business Resource Center. The directors of those organizations are going to be the ones leading the workshop. So we're really, really excited to have them. They're going to give templates on, they're going to give business plan templates, answer questions directly from you, kind of guide you through each of the sections. So it should be a really informative event. And then on the 17th, on Friday, with Baltimore Community Lending, we'll be having a business financials workshop with some of their lenders. So that should, these are folks who are really doing the work of evaluating business financials and and helping them get loans. So they're right there in it. And so it just seemed to me, who better to guide small businesses through developing strong financials. So again, they'll be giving you templates, guiding you through the important bits, and then answering any questions from you guys. So please register if you can. Both those sessions will be posted online, but again, we think it's a really great opportunity if you are able to really get there in front. So thank you so much. That's the end of my presentation. I'm going to take it off screen share so that share so that we can open it up for questions. I do know that a bunch of folks have been running things in the Q&A, so I'm just going to start going through them real quick. And please, as folks continue to have questions, please throw them into the Q&A and I'll get to them one by one. So I see, do businesses have to be a W-2 employee to be eligible? My business has 3 contract employees, but no W-2 employees. Contract employees, totally eligible. Yes, that is totally fine. A few of our winners last year, that was the case as well. They only had contract employees, so no worries on that. Work with predominantly children. Can you expand on that when you get to that topic? Children can sell merch in the storefront? No. So I meant specifically is if your business model specifically pertains to youth, to children, that kind of thing. So as I mentioned, if you are a daycare facility, for example, or if you only sell products that are directed towards children, or I don't know, if you are a youth arts center now, like in this round specifically, those kinds of businesses just aren't eligible because of our funding source. So yeah, that's what I meant by that. So the acknowledgement certificate, it is downloadable from, it should be in the application itself. There is a part in the application that says, upload the acknowledgement certificate, and it will give you the opportunity to download it right there. So if you still can't find it, Yalmakia, please follow up with us individually. Chantel, if you could put both of our email addresses in the chat box. So please follow up with this individually, and we'll get you that directly, but it should be downloadable from the online application link itself. Okay. Dawn asks, can I repeat the financial requirements? Is there an income requirement? No. So we do not have, this is a good question. Thank you so much, Dawn. We do not have a minimum income that you should have in order to apply. We're not limiting businesses in that way by any means. So if you don't think that your business has made enough, that's not a restriction at all, and we'd love to work with you, even if you haven't hit the highest income level. What I want to be clear that what we're looking for when we're evaluating the strength of the business isn't as much what is their level today, and it's more what has been their trajectory since they started. So I want to give you an example. The business Codetta Bake Shop. So they were one of our round 1 winners. When we had selected them, they had only been open, I think, officially for a little over a year. And so they didn't have a huge, financial history to speak for their name. But what they could show is month by month how their sales were just taking off. So even though when they applied, their income statement wasn't much to brag about, but they had just this incredible story that was being told through the numbers, and that told us, okay, this is a strong business that we have to pay attention to. So that is more what we're thinking about. It's not so much, oh my God, I haven't made $200,000 in the past year as a business, I'm not eligible. Please do not limit yourself in that way. If you have a story that you can tell through your numbers, if you can show in other ways through your narrative responses, through your business plan, that you are a strong business, we will definitely consider you and look to those look to those factors. Again, the strength of the business, the strength of the business, the fineness of the business is just one piece that we're looking at. We're looking at this broader story, this broader narrative, the uniqueness. All those things are really just as important. If applicant is accepted into the program, how will the choosing of this? Yes, okay. So Dion, thank you so much for this question. So Dion is asking, when someone is accepted in the program, what is the process of linking them to the storefront? And that's a great question. It's something I haven't touched on. So in the application, there's an opportunity there to indicate your top 2 preferences for storefronts. And so we want everyone who applies to indicate which of the Boost storefronts are their top 2 choices. Based on that, we will then select businesses to make sure that we have a business for each of the storefronts. So we really want you to think about, based on the tours that you go through, based on the questions that you asked us, based on what's in the storefront brochure and the overview document, we really want you to think about what storefronts would be best for you as a business, because that is really how we're going to evaluate if you are right for this Boost round. We are selecting businesses that are strong, yes, that we think will be best for downtown, yes, but we are also trying to find at least one business, or we're trying to find one business for each of the 5 storefronts. So in this round, we're trying to fill each of those 5 storefronts with our cohort, if that makes sense. So we really need you to think about the storefront that is right for you, so that we're able to make that judgment and that selection accordingly. So yeah, again, please indicate in your application which storefronts are right for you, and we will link you up with the right one accordingly. And I want to be clear, when you are selecting the program, that's the first step. The next step is then to finalize the lease with the landlord. So we're going to guide you through that. We have legal partners. It's going to be as easy as possible for you. But just applying to the program is not signing the lease. There's a whole other process of getting linked up to the storefront after that. Abner asks, what resources and help is there to secure a potential liquor license, distribution license for business looking to open a wine tasting room shop? As I said, Abner, before, unfortunately, liquor serving businesses are not eligible in this round of the Downtown Boost program. But I will say, Abner, please reach out to me directly so that we can discuss other ways to support that outside of Boost. Hi, Gabe Barnes. Are insurance and financial services eligible, since most of my clients are city employees? We'll have to talk about that. Maybe we can connect offline. I think the most important thing there is are you going to operate in an open, activated retail space? If it's a space that clients can come in and there is a retail feel to it, then yes, absolutely, you would be eligible. But if it's going to be more of a closed office environment, then that wouldn't be quite right. I have a security business. We also provide firearms training. Is that retail? Rodney, let's connect offline. If you could reach out to me and Chantel, we can discuss that further. I need to know more about what you do in your space and more details on it. Anonymous attendee says, I have an established business I've ran in Baltimore for 4 years. However, with more space, I can expand my services and shift my business plan to encompass those new offerings. Am I still eligible? For example, for any cafe. So that anonymous attendee, I'm not quite sure what the question is. It sounds like you're asking if you want to pivot your business for a new space. Would it be eligible even if that new concept isn't what your business has long been running on? I think that's how I'm interpreting the question, and I would say yes. And actually, a number of our round 1 winners did exactly that. The Boost was their opportunity to engage in a new concept and engage with a new venture, and all within the umbrella of their original business, but just go into a new direction. I think that's totally eligible, as long as you still can provide financials for the overall business. Yeah. So Quishana asks, how are finalists selected? Is this jury? Great question, Quishana. Thank you so much for that, and it's great to see you again. Yes, there are a number of rounds of review that we have for our applicants. So we are going to review all applications internally to decide on our group of finalists, and then we actually have an advisory panel comprised of local businesses, some stakeholders, some city leaders that will actually interview our finalists and then help select our winners. So it's going to be a multi-step process in which we are going to be bringing in folks from the community to help make this decision with us. For the 5 locations, are there any zoning restrictions that we should keep in mind? Tashika, thank you so much for that question. As far as I know, no, but I will we will both confirm that, Chantal, and follow up with the entire group if there if there's anything to report on that. As far as I know, there are no notable zoning restrictions that need to be shared. Chrissy, my business is mainly online. All of my financials are in my report from my website. Are printouts of these reports acceptable for financials already? Okay, yes. So this is a great question, Chrissy. Thank you so much. So there are specific components of financials. So there's an income statement, a cash flow statement, and a balance sheet. So those are the 3 pieces of overall business financials, and those are the 3 things that we want to be seeing. So it sounds like you have all the pieces there. You probably have all the numbers somewhere. We just want to make sure that you're giving it to us in the format that we need. So we would, we would ask that you attend our webinar on Friday to learn more, but we will also be posting the templates of each of those on our website and circle it out to our email list as well. So, take a look at those and you can compare it to what you have. Will other properties be selected if an applicant needs other options? No. For Boost, unfortunately, we will not be considering any other properties in this round for Boost. We have 5 Boost storefronts that we are trying to fill with 5 Boost winners. So, we are able to provide other support to businesses that move downtown that go to other storefronts. Absolutely. However, for this round of Boost, we're only focusing on those 5 storefronts. So if you have other storefronts that you're considering that you need support for, please reach out to me. I know Quishana, we have talked before. We can there's a whole separate process for that. But for Boost, for this round of Boost, unfortunately, we're not looking at anything outside of those 5 storefronts. Are cannabis businesses allowed? I think we could discuss that on a case-by-case basis. It depends on, if it's a dispensary, no, unfortunately. If it's a if you are planning to maybe sell CBD products only, that could be something that we could discuss. But I would encourage you, Linda, to please reach out to us directly so we can just get some more detail on that. It's a good question and consideration, though. Yalmakia asks, is it okay to have my e-commerce and service-based incomes combined, or do they have to be separated when providing in the application? If they are all coming through the same business, they can be combined. Absolutely, they can be combined. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you need to, it might be good to kind of see we definitely want to see the different line items, I think, and that will come out in your financials, but you don't have to, I'm reading your question is, do you have to separate out your financials for different parts of the same business? And I would say absolutely not. Ooh, I got through all the ones that were queued up for me. Keep them coming. Are there any other questions that folks have for me? wait a little longer, see if anything else pops up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop there and maybe I'll pass it back over to Shelonda to see if you have any final parting words for us. I've been talking for a while.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you. No, I don't have anything further for that.
Okay.
Just thanks. And I think you said it earlier, but just to remind everybody that if there are additional questions, to get them in, because while they may not be thinking of them all now, we want to make sure that we get them and can answer them. And I know, Sam, last time you were able to at least pull some of those together into a FAQ kind of document that we were able to share.
Yep, absolutely. I'm planning to do the same thing today for everyone. Follow with all the FAQs, and then I'll also be following up with a link to the recorded session as well. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Shelonda. And a few more came in at the last second. I just want to make sure I get to all of them. I shared my email. Thank you, Evan. Rodney, you asked me some of the buildings are under construction. What is the timeline for move-in? We anticipate all businesses should be able to move in, open operations, be licensed, permitted, ready to go by the end of 2023. So that is the timeline we're looking at for all of our properties. I'm not sure if we can see the links for the webinar registration since the chat is disabled. Oh, sorry everyone about that. I wasn't aware the chat was disabled. I will follow up via email to all folks who attended today with all the links and addresses that we've been discussing. I wasn't aware that you guys weren't seeing the chats as we were both putting stuff in. But yes, we'll follow up directly over email with everything. Thank you. And Yamakia, we will follow up with that information too. All right. Thank you all. Thank you so much for hopping on the phone today to cut through all this with us. Please, I want you to know that me and Chantel are here as a resource for you. Don't feel like you're burdening us by asking, one-on-one meetings. This is what we're here for. This is what we want to be doing. So please, even if you just want to make the introduction, please reach out to us to, schedule a conversation and talk through your application and your business. We would love to talk to you. So again, thank you all so much for hopping on the phone today. And I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.